they had some news come out that Jaron Ennis would be changing places with Serhii Bohachuk, as he's been requesting to be the #1 contender at WBC 154, as Jaron Ennis was recently ranked #1 in that sanctioning body. And he was also almost in a position of fighting for a WBA title. And the fight he's actually going to be in right now is a WBA eliminator. And with him being ranked #1, Serhii Bohachuk felt like he should have been ahead of him and chose to be ranked in that spot and actually requested. Now, we know that Bohachuk last year had a fight with Vergil Ortiz that a lot of people were back and forth about who won. Then after that, he was supposed to fight Madrimov in December, ended up fighting Ishmael Davis. And then this year, ended up fighting Michael Fox, who I think was that fight was already supposed to happen. Yeah, Michael Fox, he ended up fighting. And then now, with him, he was already trying to fight Vergil Ortiz as well last February for a rematch. He's been asking for that fight for a minute. But with him jumping ahead of Jaron Ennis at 154, I don't know why they made this change, except for, like I said, with him requesting that he be ranked higher because of, I guess, what he's accomplished at the weight class so far. In the last fight, on paper he won, but he looked pretty bad against Michael Fox. I thought Michael Fox put in a lot of good work in that last fight and was very overlooked in that last fight too. But Jaron Ennis, I think at this point he's not really chasing the WBC situation like that, because like I said, he's going to be in the WBA eliminator, and also with Lima, and then also with Vergil Ortiz. That fight is supposed to happen next year. Anyways, that's the word. As far as with Oscar De La Hoya and Eddie Hearn, I know that Vergil Ortiz Sr. and Jr. has said that fight is not finalized at this point, which is true because they have other fights going on as well. Can't really figure out what's going on until you have the fight going on now that's set up already. They both have fights set up. We know that Vergil Ortiz is going to fight very soon, as well as Jaron Ennis. But with Serhii Bohachuk being #1 in the WBC, could be a Vergil Ortiz rematch, depending on what happens over the next, I'll say, 12 months. But that'll put him in position to have a rematch, depending on what happens with this Adams fight. Adams has a lot of confidence. He has a fight coming up with Brandon Adams, the only guy to actually go out there and stop him. So he has to go out there and prove that he doesn't have ghost or, any kind of things as far as in the back of his mind with getting knocked out by the same guy he's about to face again. So once he gets past that nightmare that he's had already, should be in place for a Vergil Ortiz mandatory down the line, depending on what happens with him and Fundora, because they're in place. They could fight at some point. And then you have Jaron Ennis. He won't be #1 at this point, but saying he'll be #2. And that's still a good spot to be in. But as far as I know, as far as in the WBA, he's fighting an eliminator, so could be in place for a belt soon. We know that Charlo and Abbas is a fight that could possibly be set up with the mandatory being handed down, and the rumors of him and Spence trying to fight soon. So we got to see what's going on with the whole 54 division. It's getting switched around every couple of months, just depending on one fight, seems like. So just got to see what the changes lead up to. But this is not too much. It's not really that much of a change. All they did was basically swap spots. It's not really that big of a deal. That's all I got. Like and subscribe.